Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Prep Radio. Tom Blackman with Paul Scarborough. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Tom.
Hello. And once again, it has been a number of weeks since the last podcast, maybe even a number of months.
Yeah, I must admit, if for those that listen to the podcast and avidly wait for them, they will know that on our last podcast we said no, we're going to do at least once a month, if not twice a month, and that never happened.
I think the last one was before FitX, wasn't it? The show
it was. It was actually,
and that was before I caught COVID, and that's like 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was before the FitX Expo. Then you caught COVID. I have to say though, you caught COVID, and that weekend I was with you for a time.
And you didn't.
And I didn't catch COVID, and I've got no immune system.
So that trend.
It's probably still in my body after 5 years.
So
I think the last time I took Tren was
last week.
No, I only jab on Sundays. So last time I did Tren was 2015 when we did our last show and prep the series and stuff. So
cool.
Weird.
Okay.
Weird.
Right. Anyway, it's been a while, and the reason it is such a long time between podcasts is because I've got a busy schedule, and we just it's really difficult. It doesn't work if you swear at me on the video. You have to say it because it's a podcast and people are doing podcasts.
You don't need to say anything because you then go, you don't have to swear at me on the video. You're going to say it on the podcast.
Anyway, we are both very busy. That's the issue.
We've both been very busy, and I'm really old now, so I get really tired. So sometimes, mind you get tired loads as well lately.
Post-COVID, I get I think I've got a little bit of I don't know. Maybe I was just getting old, but I do need an afternoon nap every now and again.
Yeah, I must admit, but yeah, so it has been a while. We have been busy, but in saying that, we have loads to talk about.
Yes.
Tom's going to do all the serious stuff, and I'm going to do some serious stuff and just bash a load of people that have done stupid things on the forums and on Facebook and social media and just general things like that. So
a normal podcast then.
So normal podcast, yeah. Excellent. I will say though, Tom, I judged the IBFA South Coast on Sunday down in Plymouth. And after the show, as I was leaving, one of the guys who won his class, he won the classic class actually. He came up to me and he shook my hand and he called, said Paul, which is my name. And he said, you don't know me, we've never met, but I listened to yours and Tom's podcast.
Really?
And I was like, wow, okay, brilliant. That's really good to know. He goes, he said, I love it. I could just do with more of them.
Oh.
And I was like, weird you should say that because we are going to do one this coming week. And, lo and behold, so it was just quickly on the show. The IBFA South Coast show was a good show. It's if any of you know the IBFA, you think you know Ronnie Orr, which I believe his Martin Yates is like sort of lieutenant, second in command. He was by far the best MC I have ever seen at a bodybuilding show, without a shadow of a doubt. Really into the show, getting the crowd started. Brilliant MC. But it was a really good show and it was well attended. I think in the end, there was probably about 60 or 65 athletes, which is not bad for down that end of the country. It was my first IBFA show that I went to, and I was judging it. So it was a good day. It was great to see a lot of people I haven't seen again since I was ill, and I got a lot of compliments on the fact that I have more hair than Tom.
No, you didn't. That's such a lie.
All right, I had a lot of compliments on how good and healthy I was looking compared to
me. Yeah.
Compared to the zombie pictures I'd put up when I was ill and stuff. So
okay, yeah. So,
it was a great show. Not you, Tom. You're the epitome of health.
Yeah, it's rather ironic that, you know, when you run gyms, you tend to get more tired and more old faster than other people around you.
It is weird because, you know, I think this, I can say this for most people who are really serious into their training. At some point, we've all gone, love to own a gym. That's what I want to do. I want to own a gym. Because I think when you're coming up, you know, when you're in your early 20s and stuff like that, you see the gym as like, wow, I would be here all day. How awesome would that be? And then when you actually get to know someone who owns a gym, as in properly know him, like I know Tom, you then see him there when there's like 2 people in the gym and no one's there to speak to him, and he's just like that. You know, and like you just said, you know, it ages you, especially now after the recent pandemic and stuff.
Yeah.
But don't you think though, Tom, it is one of those, I'd love to own a gym, my own gym, that'd be awesome.
Wait, do you know what? When I was bodybuilding, well, I still train bodybuilding now, but when I was competitive bodybuilding, I was working in a really crappy town council job. It was okay. The money was okay. I literally worked about an hour a day because the work that was there to do. Oh yeah, the work that was there to do was so easy, but I just stretched it out for the whole, because it was so boring. And and I would be on UK Muscle pretty much all day on the forums and chatting and everything else, and and all the work I got done like really quickly, and it was just boring. But but my boss was, I don't want to swear too much on the podcast, but won't go into it. But anyway, she's an idiot, and I just couldn't put up with it after like 5 years of doing that. I just couldn't put up with it anymore. So that's when I decided. Well, it was about 3 years when I decided I'm going to put up with it.
It's not important.
Then I put another year into planning the gym, and then another year into trying to get the planning permission. And all I thought about was, it'd be great to own my own gym, and all I have to do is sit behind a counter all day and then train, and then money will just appear from people coming to train. And
people will just come in and throw money at you.
Just what an awesome gym. Just have loads of money, you know? It's not like that.
No, and I can vouch for that. After seeing you over there, what is it, like 15, 16, 17 years we've known each other. So
it's longer than that, mate. I think it's a long time. But anyway, it is a long time. So So what we're going to talk about.
So like I said, so that incorporates what I've been doing lately. I've been judging and for the IBFA, which I felt was really good because I've judged now for a lot of federations. So I keep on totting them up. You know, obviously NABA, PCA, FitX, IBFA, IFBB. You know, so I don't think there'll be many more on that because I'm pretty much settled with the FitX UK crew. They had their finals at the end of September, so a couple of weeks back now, which was a huge success, I believe. It was a long day, but we had some really quality guys on stage and females on stage. The overall male and female were amazing. And the day just ran brilliantly. And I got a trophy. I don't know if you can see it. I'll put it right in front of my face.
Wow.
See that? Yeah, I got a trophy. And it was basically Darren and Richard, who run the FitX, got everybody who is involved with FitX, one of those, and it actually says your name at the top. So it's not they just got a shed load and just handed them all out, you know. Oh, you want one?
If you had the wrong name and the wrong name and the wrong calories underneath us.
And it was like, mine obviously says Paul and whatever. And it's, and people might go, yeah, but that's a little bit. Do you know what? I've judged with a lot of federations. Yeah. And although I would never go into full detail, federations are not, in general, the more well-established ones are not as great, let's say, if you're not part of the inner circle or council or whatever. All right. So to be part of a new federation that is run by some great guys. Obviously, we had Darren and Richard on here before the expo, who is run by great guys. The judging is headed up by Lisa Gelsey, and obviously where Lisa goes, Mike goes, and Mike runs the stage. Lisa's very good at what she does from a judging point of view. And she not only makes sure that we're on par with the judging, but she looks after us through the day to make sure that we're watered and fed and get the breaks that we need and stuff like that. Yeah. But it is a really great federation. I've heard a lot of great things about it afterwards from people saying, oh, it was just a pleasure. It was great. It was this. And weirdly enough, the guy who won the British title in Classic actually won the overall at the IBFA on Sunday. And I actually, he said hello to me and I shook his hand and I mentioned that I judged him at FitX. But the problem with all federations is when people, and you'll know this, Tom, from our days when we competed, it's competitors, male and female, across the board. It's not a one sex thing, but the federation, whatever federation this may be, is the greatest thing on earth until you get on stage and don't get the position that you and your gym mates and your mum expect you to get. And unfortunately, this has happened at the FitX. It to be honest, it's so pathetic. I'm not gonna talk about it that much or mention any names because I think it's stupid. When we competed, it was all about, if you're not good enough on the day, you're not good enough on the day. There's no excuses, or if there are excuses, you keep them to yourself and you move forward, you come back a better person, whatever. Unfortunately, some people can't do that, and it's the judges and the organizers that get all the flack for that. And I just want to say that the judging team headed by Lisa for FitX is made up of some really quality men and women. And every single one of them, just was affected by people, calling them out with their, decisions because they didn't agree with it. And, I just think that with my experience, it shows the caliber of the team that you're working with. If they're affected by it and they just don't go, yeah, fuck off, whatever, So, but it was a really good time, and not bad for its first year. I think we've all seen on social media that the Fit Expo will be coming back in 2022, and
apparently Body Power's back as well.
It is, yeah, and on that subject, it would be good to see if Body Power comes back with as much of a bang as it used to have, yeah. When you compare that the Arnolds are back next year, so you've got the Arnold Expo, and everything I heard from the Arnold Expo was that the Expo was really, really good, So it would be interesting to see if people get Expo sort of fatigue, I know the FitX one is going to be bigger and better. And that they really look after the people who are showing, the people who've got their stands. But it will be interesting to see where we've gone from like none to 2 this year, then to 3 next year.
it's the same sort of thing as when you remember when the UK BFF and NABBA were the only dogs in town. You know, that was the
Yes.
only party, and there was not really anything else. There was independence, but it was just NABBA and UK BFF. That was years ago, obviously when me and you were competing, and then you had the PCA come along and pick up the ball that the UK BFF and NABBA dropped, and now you've got that same sort of business approach applied by FitX, where they actually look after their athletes, and PCA do this as well, look after athletes and everything else. I've heard very good things about those two federations, and obviously I know Ryan, you know Ryan, and you know who does the PCN, and obviously we both know Darren and Rich. So those are good guys heading that up, people who really care about the sport. Whereas I think the people who are head at NABBA, they did care about the sport, but they just weren't in touch with.
I think that's bang on, Matt. You know, yes, there was. I must apologise to the people who run WABA and the IBFA for what I'm about to say, but you are correct. There were only two shows in town, as you mentioned, UK BFF and NABBA. The UK BFF, you know, well publicised, just got too big for the boots and thought they could run the world. And that went obviously the way it did. NABBA, do you know what? I loved NABBA. For the time I competed, the 25 years I competed, I loved NABBA and competed 95% with NABBA. The sad thing about NABBA is it's run by old men. All right. The council run NABBA, and it's full of old people. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that in you've got to start bringing in new blood. And they have done with a couple, Darren Poole from Wales, Thingy Walker from up in the Northwest. Sorry, Joe Walker. Sorry, Joe. They have started doing it, but I really think they've left it for so long that it's hindered their growth, and they've refused to get on board with social media. The PCA are as big as they are now because, you know, their social media attack was undeniably the best that a federation has ever been, you know. And, you know, I'll get memories one day and it'll be literally posts and shares and reposts from like 5 years ago of PCA shows, you know, and then it'll go, that's all for today. You know, it's literally just that. But NABBA missed the boat on that. And, you know, the sad thing about NABBA is, and I don't regret saying this because, and I think I have the right to say it, to be fair.
You never regret anything you say.
No, that's fair enough.
Right. And then off we go.
I think NABBA in general, the council, there's a lot of great people in NABBA, but the council in general are just so out of touch with modern day bodybuilding, fitness, federations, everything like that. The fact that they're all male on the council and there isn't a female council member is shocking, you know, and those council members make the decisions for adding and keeping and setting criteria for female classes, you know. So that is shocking in this day and age. And I think their choice to not run any shows apart from the UK in November, which will be their first show in over a year, which will be a direct qualification event to the British finals next year. I think that's a mistake by NABBA. I think staying totally away for the whole year is a mistake because no one's talking about them, you know, in a positive way. As much as no one's talking about the UK BFF,
which is can only be a good thing. Okay, right. So let's let's go on to, so there's a few things I want to talk about. We talked about the FitX show and stuff like that. You wanted to talk about this two bros show in a field.
Yeah, this came. I was judging the FitX Bournemouth show, and I travelled there, and I was with Lisa and Mike on the registration desk, and we had a female approach us, and basically she was at the Two Bros show to compete, and she turned up, and it was like Glastonbury. So there was a stage with like a tent over it, and no discernible lighting, just the lighting from the world. The world. Yeah, and there was the makeup girls. Basically, the reason why she came over to our show is the makeup girls attended, and obviously this is a big thing nowadays in shows. It wasn't really for us, definitely not for us, but even when we competed, it wasn't a big money spinner like it is now. But obviously females pay for hair, makeup, tan, all that sort of stuff on the day. And I've got some female athletes that have told me the prices and how it's set up and stuff like that. And the hairstylist and the makeup artist came, and they were like, right, that's where you are. And it was basically a tent with no power. No power. So no lighting for them to do the makeup, and no power to do hairdryers, straighteners, anything like that. So the makeup girls and the hairstylist left. Just left. So when the female athletes came along and was like, right, when's my, there was no one there. So I think some competed and some just sodded off. And essentially it was, I think they were paying something like, this is something else that wasn't around when we competed, paying to actually compete.
I think it was like a £5 to go to go into a NABBA show, something like that.
Yeah, I know, but as a competitor, you would pay your membership, which would be whatever, 30, 40, whatever. I remember when it was £15 for NABBA. And you would pay your membership, and then to compete, you would just register to compete and rock up.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to pay some money to actually step on stage. And I think at that UKBF show, I think the girl that came over said she was doing 2 classes and it cost her £240.
Ooh.
So £120 per class she was doing. And I was like, that really, and that apparently that's nothing. At the Arnold's, I think it was something like 250. Don't quote me on this. I'm sure someone's listening to this going, no, you're wrong on that. I'm sure I am, but I know it wasn't cheap.
Right. So let's do devil's advocate here. The reason people will say they charge people so much to compete is so that the people who aren't of the high quality and who are just going to turn up to just being also ran, they don't turn up. That's one of the reasons they'll say. So it's like if you have a price to enter, then people just go, oh, I'll just compete today, and they rock up with like no tan, no diet, nothing else. So the devil's advocate. What?
That's not working.
Ooh, a saucer of milk for you over there. Yeah, but that's what they'll say, is that it's a deterrent to stop just anybody rocking up and saying, yeah, I'm going to compete today.
And I get that. I do.
But then £250, that's a lot.
Yeah. But the thing is, that's a deterrent for people rocking up and lowering the standard of the show. What form of deterrent is having no electricity?
You got to really want it, yeah. You got to really want it.
Yeah, you really, really want it. People were actually getting changed.
The men from the boys, whatever.
They were getting changed and pumping up in their cars.
Really? What, lifting their cars?
There was no real backstage area. There was the stage under a tent, and then there was like a doorway. I've seen a picture. There's a doorway at the back, and I think there was some area undercover, but with nothing there. And the competitors just came through the doorway up onto the stage, did their bits, and then went like the other way around and whatever. Yeah. So there was no like backstage pump up, anything like that. And I've got nothing against Two Bros in general, apart from I think it's run by fucking idiots and not proper people.
Nothing against them, just run by idiots.
Nothing against them, apart from guy who runs it's a fucking dick. But
okay.
But to charge people to compete in a tent in the middle of a field that's sort of hanging on to the end of some sort of vegan festival. Yeah, it was at a festival. Yeah. So the actual show was at a festival, you know, and that's why it was in a field.
Sounds like a bit of a circus to me.
Hey. But yeah, so that's my personal gripe with that, and the just pure lack of respect to competing athletes. From
I mean, if you're paying 100 quid, you expect to have an actual venue to go to, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I'm sure
package.
Yeah, because I'm sure one of the justifications for money is, well, we got to pay for the venues, we got to pay for this, we got to pay for that, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, exactly. So, whoever stood up at the Two Bros planning session and went, do you know what? We should have the next one in the field.
No, it was more. I bet it was more like this. Like they're all like having a whiskey around the table over, and it's like, mate, this will be it. This will be great. This will be great. Like, let's hold a show in a field and see who turns up. It'd be great. It'd be funny. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Oh, they're all like, oh.
Yeah.
And they wake up in the morning. They've actually done it.
we give out pro cards. There's loads of fucking idiots coming. Don't worry.
If they do the obstacle course with the dog, they get a pro card. If they can stay on the cow in the field for as long as possible, they get the pro card.
Yeah.
Just keep writing it. Me, I tell you, your mum says you can do it. I'm a pro. Yeah. I'm a pro. Not flying over the hedge.
Oh, dear me.
Give that man a pro card.
It was mentioned. I had quite a few friends in the amateur Arnold the other week, who some did really well, some unfortunately didn't do as good as they were hoping, but the standard was really good in the amateur lineups. The pros weren't too bad either, but the standard was really good. And I had a discussion with someone on the net just shortly after saying, they were just handing out pro cards, left, right, and center. It's much harder to get a pro card in the good old days where they just gave one out. You mean the good old days where they just gave one out to a man? So it was one pro card a year to a male athlete. So the women had to go to Europe or the worlds to get there.
I remember that. Yeah, even if you won the British finals, no pro card. You have to go off to America or something.
And I said to him, it's not easier getting a pro card now. In fact,
if anything, it's harder because so many more people compete.
Yeah, I would argue the standard is much higher now across the show. We all remember the super heavyweight classes that were like phenomenal and stuff, but across the show, I would say it's harder to get a pro card now. It's just you have more opportunities to get them, but it's harder to get them.
I don't know. It's I mean, there's a lot of federations now, isn't there? I mean, I coach a lady called Camilla, who incidentally is a makeup artist. So I'll tell her about that thing. She'll love that story. And she competed in, I think, Miami Pro or something. One of those. I should really know, shouldn't I? But yeah, so she competed in a few shows over the summer, and looked incredible. And I think she got a pro card for being top 2, I think. Oh, I'll have to check that.
Yeah, I know. There's a couple of the Miami Pro, I think the WBBF or something, Paul Hillett's federation. They generally do hand out pro cards like candy, you know, but that's not what Two Bros does. Like the like Miami Pro and stuff like that is like top 2. You're a pro for wearing an evening dress or a tuxedo or something, you know. And I know quite a few people that have achieved that and then went, I wish I'd never taken it, you know, because it's like a, you know, it's like a heavy object around my neck, because you then known as a pro if you then go on social media and tell everybody, and then every show you do after that, people are going, yeah, but why are you doing this? You're a pro, you know.
Yeah, it can be a curse, can't it? If you,
yeah,
I know Camilla didn't take hers. I don't think she got offered it, but she didn't compete in the evening show as a pro.
Yeah, yeah, I think, you know, that's giving them out like candy, you know, first 2, first 3, whatever. Two Bros do give out more.
They can afford more because of all those fees. They can buy more plastic trophies.
Yeah.
Hey up, mate, we got enough for 300 trophies. So make sure
we get 300.
There's 300 winners. But there's only 200 people in the show. Just give someone twice.
Yeah, double it up. Come on.
Two
You're
Bros
a pro.
2 Pros Pro.
Yeah, Two Bros Pro. Yeah. But it is, I would agree with you. It's not easier getting a pro card now. You've just got more opportunities if you can take them. I think the downside to Two Bros is the fact that the crappy thing they did was all of a sudden go from you can rock up and do the amateur Arnolds or the Ben Weider or something like that to no, you've got to qualify. You've got to actually, you don't have to qualify. What you've got to do
is it right that they made everyone qualify and then said you can just turn up to the British if you want to? Did I get that right?
No, that's what people were doing because that's what they allowed. And then they
did say that they would allow that.
Yeah, and then they brought in that you've got to show at a qualifier if you want to go to the British. So you've got to sign up and pay to show at a qualifier. You don't have to place anywhere. If you show at that qualifier, you can then show at the Britain. And everybody's like, wow, that's great. I'm going to do. Oh, what's the downside? Because you've then got to pay for the Britain. So think about it. They're not being kind. They're not being everybody, you know, it's their version of everybody gets a participation trophies. You know, no one's a winner. This is, you know, it used to be like, yeah, it used to be like, right, you placed, you win, place top 2, place top 3, you get an invite to the finals. It was a standard. Yeah. Fit X this year, I know for a fact that in some classes they only gave 1 invite out, and in some classes like the Kent show, they gave 6 out in class 2 because the standard was that high, you know, and that's how it should be, you know. But the Two Bros have got around that whilst making money by going, just turn up to a qualifier, step on stage. Obviously, before you do that, pay your fees, your hair appointment things, your makeup, if we've got electricity, pay your field fees, and all that stuff. And then you turn up and show, and then you'll automatically be allowed to turn up at the Britain and pay us again to compete. So you got guys there going, yeah, I'm going to the Britain. It took me 14 years from the time I first started competing in local shows. It took me 14 years to get to the Britain. You know, and there's, you know, Jimmy Big Bollocks rocking up to a show in a field, you know, And then he's off to the Brit, and I'm like, fucking hell, man. You know, I'm all for opening bodybuilding to the masses, but you know,
Okay.
yeah. So
We've ranted for quite.
I think we have ranted enough. I think.
Right.
I think I've got that off my chest, which is really good.
So let's talk about some nutrition stuff. So, okay. So you wanted to talk about keto for fat loss, which is, people might know, is my favorite subject to talk about. And I was going to talk about setting a time limit for fat loss. So which one do we want to go first?
We'll do mine first, because as usual, you didn't listen to me and you only got the keto part. I think you switched off then. I said keto and you went, oh, fuck.
Yeah, go to sleep.
But it actually will lead into yours very nicely. Keto is the main culprit.
Yeah.
But I was speaking to one of the women who work at the gym that I go to, and she has been on a long journey of losing weight. And by her own admission, she's a big lady. She, training wise, she puts the effort in. You know what I mean? She really does put the effort in, and she's just come to a plateau where she's just not losing it and whatever. So her GP has put her onto a keto diet, and I was like, right, did he? A GP has. And I was like, right, okay, how's he explaining it? I was like, well, he gave me a pamphlet and stuff like that.
A pamphlet?
And I was like, right, okay. I said, right, I don't particularly like keto diets. This is me talking to her. I said, I don't particularly like keto diets. And then I went into detail why. And what I said was that people use them wrongly. People like listen to the stories of, I lost 10 pounds in a week, I lost 15 pounds in a month, and go, right, I'm going keto. And it's actually quite rare for someone who says I'm going keto to actually be in keto, you know, because the rules are not explained to them. They just think it's a fad, like eating low carbs or eating cabbage or whatever, you know. And once I explained to it, don't have more than 30 grams of carbs. Make sure fat is your prevalent macro. Don't overeat on protein, because, you know, if you're eating loads of protein, then at some point your body's going to break that down.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're going to go out of keto because of the sugar from, you know, and all that stuff. And I explained to her why people lose the weight and then get that euphoric feeling about keto being the best thing since sliced bread or keto bread.
That's about 10 seconds.
Yeah. And I explained to her that carbs, when you eat carbs, they basically store around 2.7 grams of water per gram of carb in the body.
In the glycogen.
And, pardon?
In the glycogen.
Yeah, but you know, I'm talking to someone that, you know, so in the body. See, that's why people don't like you. You're constantly correcting them with really long words.
But don't say stupid things then.
Well, I'm not talking to you, am I? And so in her body, and so when you cut carbs, so when people go on carb free or low carb diets, the weight that they initially lose is fluid. And that's not a bad thing, because some of that water weight will be contributing to inflammation, to lack of mobility, you know, so it's all relevant. However, it puts you in a flawed sense of success, because when after 2 weeks and you suddenly stop in losing weight, because no one's explained this to you, you think you're doing something wrong. So the first thing that people do is cut their calories even more. And so be it. And she was really interested in this because her GP didn't explain it anything like that. It was just like, yeah, just eat fat.
But in fairness to this guy, the GP, whatever, they're not trained in nutrition. But the problem is that their patients come to them with this problem, and they want to help them, and obviously they've been given this stuff to give out, which I think the issue there is that there's, I mean, I've tried this before. I've tried to speak to the local sort of GP surgeries around me, and I've said, look, I'm a qualified nutritionist, a sports nutritionist, have an accredited diploma. You know, I'd be happy to, if you wanted to refer clients to me or refer them to my videos or whatever for some free advice on nutrition, I'd be happy to help you with that. And their answer is, we can't because the NHS won't let us, because you're not a dietitian. And I'm like, well, okay. So they are, and obviously the reason behind that is that if they give someone the wrong advice, they get sued, because that's our culture, isn't it? You told me to eat an egg, and I ate an egg, and now I'm fat, so it's your fault. You know, it is very difficult for GPs. They've got to be very careful what they say. So they've given out the approved stuff, but it's also up to people to investigate stuff.
I do agree. I do agree with a lot of what you've just said. And I totally understand the part about GPs and not being nutritionalists and whatever. Yeah. But then, you know, for me, then if you're not that, don't give out the advice. You know, refer them to a dietitian or an NHS nutritionalist, you know, or at least furnish them with some, you know, it's all right saying, you know, it's down to the individual to research it, but let's face it, you know, I know some well-meaning guys and people who know their stuff, really, who get confused the hell out of when they go Googling, you know, because they can go keto diet. They'll get 50 entries that it's the best thing since keto bread. And then 50 more of jackasses like you on your videos saying shit, don't do it.
Jackasses like me. People who,
all you self-proclaimed nutritionalists with your diploma fake thing. I know what you did. You came to my house, you got a copy of my diploma, you copied it, Tipp-X'd out my name and put yours in.
Yours is written on a stone tablet, isn't it? Moses brought it down from the mountain.
That's right, because I'm well connected. I didn't have to bring it down myself. Moses did it.
See, that's why you didn't get your steps up. That's why you're fat.
Fatter.
That's it. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So basically, it's not the best diet, but it can be helpful. That's what you're saying.
It can be helpful to obese people, to get them going, to get them, you know, into the routine of losing weight. But for me, the bad thing about keto is it has to be a lifestyle, and people treat it like a 8-week, 12-week sort of like gap filler, you know. And when I was speaking to this person, I was saying that I don't disagree with it when it's advised by medical people. Obviously, I meant dietitians.
Medical people.
Yeah, you know, medical lot. The thing that annoys me is when certain PTs or gurus, as they call them, or whatever, influencers, do like, yeah, come to me for an 8-week shred, and essentially they give you a keto diet.
Which everybody else gets, the same diet.
The same diet, everybody else gets it. Everybody loses 10, 15 pounds in the first 2 weeks. And and then doesn't lose that much more in the remaining like 4-6 weeks, but then think it's brilliant, and then go, once the thing's done, you know, they're drinking glasses of orange juice while they stuff loaf after loaf of bread down the throat. You know, it doesn't educate them. You know,
no. I mean, my take on that would be that. Yeah, keto is good for an immediate weight loss effect. However, I still wouldn't go anywhere near that, because the problem with most people who have tried to lose weight before and failed is because they've done all that before, and they are convinced that it's their fault that they can't lose the weight. They weren't strong enough. They didn't have the willpower, and they broke and overate, and that's why they gained all the weight back again, which is strictly true because they were having a calorie deficit in this keto diet. They couldn't hack it, or they couldn't put up with it. So then they overate because they were depressed, and they preferred overeating to, being unhappy. So the issue there is that they're not creating a good relationship with food. Whereas, how I approach that with people is that you need to be thinking about, it's not eating for 6 weeks, it's 6 months. How are you going to eat for 6 months or next 12 months? I think
it's a lifestyle. It's not the word diet is, I hate using the word diet. It has to be a lifestyle change.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, a diet is your diet. It's whatever you eat, that's your diet. And a diet plan is making sure that you've got all the foods you like within a certain calorie deficit that's tailored towards your goals. That's what a diet plan is. It's not something you go on and go off again. It's how do you eat to get the body you want? Okay, well, work out your calories, work out meal blocks that fit your lifestyle, split those calories into those meal blocks, have some snacks from whatever's left over, and then do that again and again. I mean, that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I think a lot of people fail just from doing that, putting time limits on it. It's like, I'm on my diet for another 12 weeks and then I can enjoy myself. Well, if you've got the mindset that you can only enjoy yourself when you're not restricting your food on your diet, in air quotes, then that's a failure there and then. And essentially that's what bodybuilders, I'm sure me and you did it back in the day, did. They would diet, prep for a show for anywhere between 12 and 20 weeks. And then once they got off stage, once they finished prepping, they were like, yeah, I'm in the off season, I'll eat what I want and whatever. And, that was the bulking, cutting sort of way of life, where now I think that's not so much true, not so true. Like you have guys like Lewis Breed down by me. Lewis is a great guy, very young pro. He's got loads of potential. But his off season, he's better than most I see on stage, because he just sticks to what he eats.
The thing there is that the difference is you're talking about systems approach and goals approach, whereas a goals approach would be a bodybuilding diet. So it's like have to be in this shape, which is an unrealistic shape to hold for the long term. Have to be in a certain athletic shape at a certain time within a certain time limit. So that's a goals approach. So it's head down and you focus and just get there. That's the athletic mind, isn't it? That's the performance mind. But it's very clear that at the end of that, you're not going to maintain that.
Yeah, but that sorry, Tom. That's sort of my point. For a competition, that is basically what needs to happen. That goal is that competition, and we both know that's the thing. That's the thing that drives you and whatever. Because you don't want to look embarrassed in very small underpants, tanned up on stage. But I think what happens is because of that extreme dieting that bodybuilders do, the average Joe sees that, oh yeah, I'd like to look like that, whatever, and then believes that they also have to do it in 3 months or 4 months, and it has to be so extreme that they then can't carry it on. When by educating them whilst they're doing that, they then realize that if they didn't give it a time limit or give it a long-term goal sort of thing, things wouldn't be as extreme. You wouldn't develop, bad habits with food.
I think the thing there is that people's perception of a diet getting into shape, is that it should be tough. It should be hard.
Yes.
And that's not helped by people who are like ex-bodybuilders, ex-competing athletes who are still competing athletes and are applying that to get into shape, you must suffer mentality to their people who they work with who are not competitor athletes. And it's like, if you want it, you've got to suck it up and you've got to put your head down and you've got to want it and everything else. But that's what all athletes do when they're getting ready for a competition. You look at any athletic performance event, it's all head down, selfishness because I want to win. And that's fine for athletic performance because that's exactly what you need to do. But the issue there is that you're going to stop at the end and you're going to go back to where you were before. And that's not a healthy thing for a, in inverted commas, normal person to do, because they're not looking to achieve a peak athletic performance. They're just looking to have a lifestyle, which means that they can eat the foods they like, enjoy life with their family, and not be afraid of food, and still lose a bit of body fat and gain a bit of muscle. But that's not what these people promote. It's like, let's shred as much off in 6 weeks as possible. There's no consideration for the afterthought, the what happens after that. And it's that Dr. Shreds mentality, isn't it? It's like, what happens after the 6 weeks? Well, you go away because you finish the 6 weeks, get fat again, and I'll see you again in 6 months and we'll do it again.
Yeah, no. I think we're in agreement there.
Yeah.
Because those mentality, those coaches with that mentality, never post up pictures of before, after, 6 months after.
Yeah.
And that would, I've always felt, I'm not one for doing before and afters. I know you do them occasionally, but I've seen some coaches that basically all they post is that,
because that's what sells, and that's the problem. Is that people...
no, and that's what I mean. I'm not, that's what gets people like, oh, I want to look like him or I want to look like her, and there's no then in-depth discussion about what it took that person to get that look. There's no like, right, okay, she got that look in 12 weeks. She didn't have any carbs. She had 3 hours of cardio a day, trained twice a day, 7 days a week, and whatever. Oh, well, I'm a mum of two with a full-time job. Oh, well, you're not working hard enough. So it's that, I agree with you. It's that, but it's that mentality that we need to sort of break so that people have better understandings for when they're setting goals.
Yeah, I think you're right in the fact that the before and after picture often, and the before and after picture is something that is that's just the way the industry is. I've worked with clients who are not comfortable showing their before picture. They're happy with their after picture, but they're not comfortable showing the before picture. And you know what? That's fine, because it's what people, although the before and after picture it can be a dramatic thing, what people want is the after picture. It's not, no, well, look how fat they were and now look how thin they are. It's what they want to achieve. That's the body that they want to achieve. You can say they've lost 30 kilos to get to that point. You don't have to show that extreme, but again, I do it with my guy. If my clients are happy to share that picture, then that's fine. We share it. If they're not happy, that's fine. We don't share it. We just talk about how they got there.
I have noticed that you've sold out to that sort of way of marketing.
I've invested in a full Photoshop package,
Yeah, well, there's that snake oil that you sell, that you make all your clients take and contractually sign to say that that's why they lost the weight and they can only get it from you.
Well, actually, they take the snake oil and all the fat burners, but actually, what they do is they say they ate the foods they like and it wasn't that much of a stress.
They did no cardio. That always gets me.
Cardio, but they do cardio. They do like 6 hours a day. Take all the fat burners, and there's no carbs allowed anywhere. And what they have to do is they have to photograph themselves holding a bagel once a week so I can put it on my story, and then they got to throw that away and burn it.
Yeah, you should be a bodybuilding coach.
Yeah, well, I'm going to transition to, because I haven't done a show for a little while, so I think I might like do a show and just like turn up, and then I can class myself as a prep coach then. Expert prep.
Well, that'll be me screwed then.
Well, you judging, aren't you? So you're like an expert assessor of physiques.
Yeah, well, I'm judging, and all judges are corrupt, aren't they? So, you know, we have our own mafia sort of judges, the corruption.
So let's talk about. So we talked briefly on setting a time limit for fat loss. And the whole reason for that was that with now things like holidays opening up, so that because I'm on holiday to Egypt next week, and maybe I should have said that because my house got burgled now, but there's nothing really to steal anyway.
I have to say though, Egypt's really hot, and you are one of the worst people I have ever seen in the sun.
I've got myself an underground cellar. It's all right. So I don't have to go anywhere, just underground tunnels and stuff. Just to say that I'm in Egypt. I'm going to go out in the morning, get a picture of like the swimming pool, and then go back inside for the whole day. But yeah, the whole purpose of this is that people are going to be going on holiday, maybe for some winter sun, and they've late booked it. So this thing about, right, I've got 6 weeks to get into shape. And the problem with that, and I did a video on it earlier this week, and we just talked about it now, is that once you set yourself that time limit, people think that's a motivational thing. So, right, I've got motivation to get into shape in 6 weeks. Well, actually, no, because you've already got motivation, because you've made a decision you're going to change your body. You have motivation. Putting more pressure on you by saying, and I've got to do it in 6 weeks, that's pressure. That's not motivation. And then what that does actually slows you down. And the reason why it does that is because I've got 6 weeks to get into shape. You have 2 or 3 days at work where things don't go to plan. You can't eat your diet, you can't train maybe or whatever. So now you're 2 or 3 days behind. So now you've got to make up for that because you've only got 6 weeks by training twice a day, doing 2 hours more cardio, restricting your food a bit more. So what happens is you were in a nice deficit, losing weight, losing body fat in a nice safe way. Now you've upped the ante a little bit, and the body pushes back against that and actually slows things down. So by trying to speed things up, you've actually slowed things down. And maybe someone's listening to this who's thinking, oh, I'm getting ready in 6 weeks and, I'm in the same situation. Please don't do that. So I see that all the time with both clients and new clients and people, I talk to. They do this thing where they think, well, I've got to get into shape in 6 weeks. Every day has to be perfect. And as soon as one day isn't perfect, they're behind. And you never catch that time up. So you just end up running into your holiday, restricting yourself massively, doing loads of cardio, feeling really tired. And then what happens is you go on holiday, you relax, eat loads of food, smash on a ton of fat.
And I was going to say, that's, I hate to bring it back to bodybuilding again, but essentially that's what showing is, and
that's a goal approach.
Yeah. And that's, got a show, I've got a cupboard full of treats. And as soon as the show's over, you've smashed that,
I used to have that naughty bag.
Yeah. And I think it's less prevalent these days than it was back when we competed and before. And I think that's mainly because of the amount of shows there are. It's like, you take the run with FitX. FitX were running at the same time as Two Bros qualifiers, PCA qualifiers, things like that. They like I said, the guy who won the classic class at the Britain came to the IBF South Coast and won the overall. He was a clear winner of the overall. But he'll do that now in 2 weeks' time. He'll do the IBFA Britain. And I think he's actually qualified for the PCA Britain, which is in a week's time or just after that or whatever. Yeah. So that mindset is not as prevalent as it used to be, because when I competed, I'd compete twice. I'd do the West, then I'd do the Britain. And I think when you competed, you do the UKBFF qualifier, then you do the Britain, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. So and I always used to do the Portsmouth show. So that would be and a reason I did the Portsmouth show was it was more tactical than anything. Was well, first of all, it was a great show to do, and Paul Smith's an excellent promoter. The it was in a really big guild hall. Venue was absolutely awesome, you know, incredible lighting, everything else. Although
Yeah.
a couple of years the lighting didn't go very well, but it was generally the first show of the year. So what would happen is you'd come off, say, Christmas, and you'd be straight into a diet for 3 months, do the April show, and if you got a good showing at that show, you were still right. That's the person to beat coming into the Britain, that sort of thing. Not that I was ever that sort of pro level status or anything, but when I did win the classes and the overall a couple of times, I went from being sort of like no one really knows me up to wow, that guy is going to be good at the Britain. And actually, I ended up messing up pretty much every Britain outing I went to. But aside from that, if I had repeated that condition, it would have been a lot different story. But yeah, I didn't. But the whole purpose of that was it took me from being just another bodybuilder to on the front cover of the Beef twice, I think we were, and then 3 times one with you.
I think it was 2007 you beat Darren Ball for the overall.
Yeah, and no one was expecting that because
no one.
Darren was
I was there,
4
and I
stone
didn't
heavier than
expect
me.
it. I betted money on Darren.
Well, you lost, didn't you?
Yeah, I edged it.
So yeah, I mean, it was all that thing. Everyone was expecting that year that I wasn't going to win the overall, and I think the only reason I did was because my symmetry was better. Because Darren was just massively, it's a huge guy, but yeah, just I think the symmetry was slightly better, which is why I won. But it was that thing. It sort of catapulted me up. So, but if you did the later shows in the year, you're all with everybody else who's doing shows, and the magazines don't come out because back then there was no social media, so the magazines didn't come out until nearly
After
when the Britain was.
Yeah.
So no one really knew who you were because Facebook was sort of just around then. And I don't know if you remember, if you listen to this and you're like under 30, but Facebook, you had to really like do loads of stuff to get you couldn't just upload it from your phone. You had to upload a picture from your desktop or something to get it on. Yeah, it's a nightmare. So, there wasn't really that level of social media there is now. So I did the April shows to get on the front cover of the Beef or to get in the Beef so that then it would, and then flex and stuff like that, so that then people would know about you.
Back then, because 2007, did you do your first overall in 2006?
I can't remember. I've got the trophies somewhere, so I'll be able to tell you. But I know
it was 2007 because I won my second overall in 2007 at the West, and then which was weeks after you just won yours at the.
I think Darren was the second one. The first one was the under 80s, and yeah, I think I won the under 80s, and then I think that was 2005 maybe or 2006, but. I know. Oh yeah, in 2004, I was at that show, the Portsmouth show, and I come second, I think, to Mark Cameron.
Right, yeah.
I was in the under 90s. It was my first time doing that show. I think it was only my third show overall anyway, because I did first timers first timers at Neil Hill show in Tenby. Then I did the novice at NABA. And won that one, but didn't go to the Britain. That was the West Britain. And then the next year, I did the UK BFF Portsmouth. So that was 2004, and I got second. My first show in an open category, and because I went by the rules. I wasn't a first timer. I wasn't a novice, so I went into the open men's category. My third show, got second to Mark Cameron in the under 90s, and then so I can't remember who won it that year. And then the next year I come back and I was lighter but bigger, and I won the under 80s, and then won the overall. And then I think maybe the next year I had off, and then the next year I came back and did the Portsmouth.
I know one of the years you won. I know one of the years in 2008 you came third at the Britain.
That was Can't remember actually. Oh no, that was the UK BFF.
Yeah,
that was the year that James won the.
James won it.
Yeah.
Nathan came second. You came third.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know that is also the year that I came third at the NABA Britain.
Yeah, always in competition.
Yeah,
anyway, memory lane or whatever. Let's. People are getting bored of that. I'm sure of it. Oh right. So I think we're coming up to just on maybe an hour and a bit. So we might need to wrap it up in a minute. We've done all the stuff that. How long is it?
No, you're right. It's just a little bit more over an hour a bit.
Okay, fine. Well, all right. Well, let's wrap this up because I did want to talk about this. This is funny. Well, I think it's funny, but so I've run an advert at the gym, and yeah. So if you've seen my social media or the gym social media, you would have seen this conversation or these many conversations. Now, I thought it was quite relevant to talk about this because women's safety and men's views towards women has been in the news a lot recently, and as part of the rebranding, I suppose, of ministry, when we closed for lockdown, I had a meeting with my co-director Curtis, and we chatted about where do we want ministry to go, where do we want the business to go, because it's always been known as a bodybuilding gym, powerlifting gym, everything else. But truth be told, there's not much money in those sorts of gyms. Really, and we wanted to take the business forward and improve it. And so what we decided to do was to move towards more a body transformation facility. So where we have lots of classes, we do lots of varied stuff. We coach people in how to lift properly and how to train properly. And we create an inclusive environment for both women and men and, transgender, whatever. There's no judgment and everything else. So, and that's what we wanted to create. So when we closed, we redone the whole gym, done the studio, put the MyZone in, all that sort of stuff, and made it more towards a fitness facility rather than a hardcore bodybuilding gym. And so part of that is that we run adverts to show that we are an inclusive facility and that we promote female lifting, male lifting, anybody lifting. And so we've got an advert lifting. So anybody lifting, everyone's lifting,
Everybody's getting lifted.
Yeah. So we run this. So I've got this advert running. There's actually 4 adverts running. This is the only one that's getting the real traction. And it's a picture of one of my clients, Lee. So one of my PTs, coaches, Lee, who works from the south at the gym, but he's a ministry coach. And he is, I suppose, assessing form of one of his female clients, Rosie, who is squatting with a barbell with excellent form. Okay. So she's doing the squat right. The photos of Lee assessing the form. And there's obviously some blurb, some copy with it. Now, every comment, well, up till recently, every comment on that advert has been from, and I'm going to be very diplomatic about how I say this, fucking twats commenting saying, "Oh, he's checking out her ass."
I was going to say, if you were going to be more diplomatic than that, I would have translated that into normal speak.
Yeah. So all these people who are commenting, and it's without a doubt, because whenever I see a comment on any of my BKM posts or ministry posts, the first thing I do is click on that person's profile to see what sort of person they are. Yeah. And across the board, every time I've clicked on the profile, it's been full of just idiocy. One guy was there was a comment about some checking out her ass or whatever, and he was obviously some sort of EDL type, like right winger type guy. Commonly across the board, none of them have any gains. They don't look as if they train in any gym, so they have no idea about how a PT works with a client, which might be, I can understand then why they might be thinking that. But the whole thing about this is that it just goes to show that, say, for example, if it was a guy, so if Lee was checking out a guy's squat form, there wouldn't be the comments, he's checking out that guy's ass. The comments are only there because it's a woman being coached by a male PT.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that these sort of caveman type philosophies, views or whatever are still very much in our society. And this is why and all these people who've commented, I've basically just had a bit of a go at them or whatever, to say, you're not welcome in our facility. Thanks for commenting, idiot. Don't come to our facility. You won't be allowed in. You won't be welcome because you are obviously chauvinistic. And if you saw any woman who is dressed in any sort of workout gear, you would just be perving over her. And we do not want that in our facility. And we have women that come into our facility. They train in hot pants and crop tops, and they can do that. They can do that feeling safe and secure because they know it's a safe and secure environment. And if we were to allow people like that in, just for the case of they've got a membership, they wouldn't feel secure. They wouldn't feel safe in the facility. And all this stuff recently is just, I think, just amplified that you've got so much cretins in society who maybe need educating in how.
Yeah,
how people...
I agree. I'm fortunate to train at a gym at the Zone in Plymouth that has that same sort of approach. There's a really good mix of male and female trainers. No one stands there and like just gawks at them and passes comments or laughs as they walk by, or and stuff like that. And that's really good to see. And to be fair, most of the women in the gym train harder than some of the blokes. But it's like you said, there shouldn't be a feeling that they have to dress any different than they want to dress.
No.
Or train any different than they want to train, just because some, as using your words, cretin wants to have a laugh with his mates and feel all empowered and shit.
Yeah, it just highlighted to me. And what is really nice is that because every time one of these cretins posts, I always reply, because number one, it boosts up the Facebook reach, so more people see the advert. And now actually more people, we've actually had like 30 to 40 members join because of that advert, because you can track it, which is obviously great. But the people who've come in, they have actually mentioned to me, oh, I saw that advert. And what are those idiots commenting? And I've had private messages and everything else from, mainly women, but also guys who have gone, yeah, we don't want those sorts of people in the gym. It's a really nice community. Don't let them in. And women saying, who are these idiots? And it just goes to show the mentality of people on Facebook. And I suppose, because a lot of the comments are like 10:30 on a Sunday night. So those are the people who are, surfing on their phones on their own in home because maybe they're a bit of a lonely person who hasn't got.
I think they're just dickheads.
Just dickheads. Yeah, I mean that would be a fair assessment. But they are. What one guy even said, oh yeah, because I said about you, that's your perception of women, and he said, oh no, because I'm gay, so I can't have that perception. I said, actually, you can still be a chauvinist and be gay. Your sexual orientation doesn't impact how you view that picture, and you view that picture as a guy checking out a girl's ass, when actually it's a picture of a PT assessing a female client's form. The fact that you're gay doesn't give you any protection from the fact that you're small-minded. I love
that. Yeah. Fair one.
So
I totally agree, mate. I'm very protective over the gym I train at. And I know for a fact a lot of the guys that have trained there much longer than I have would be the same. And that sort of behavior wouldn't be tolerated and shouldn't be tolerated, to be fair. I think gyms are much better when you've got a really good mix of male, female, newbies, experienced people, just a really like big mix of people. It shouldn't be all males or all females or
No, I think the thing as well is that you generally find with independent gyms that you get this more forceful attitude from the owners about this, because obviously I don't know the guy who owns his own gym, but it's certainly all the people I know who are independent gym owners, they would be on the case of anybody.
Oh no, John who owns it, he most definitely would be.
And you tend to find that when I see like complaints on social media from other gyms, it's always the big commercials where there's no regulation, there's no one walking the floor, there's no one enforcing the rules. It's always the big commercials. It's always the $4.99 value for money gyms that have these complaints, because all they're interested in is getting as many members in as possible. That's all they want to do. Anyway, just my little rant at the end. Anything else to add? Have you got any rants?
No. God, we don't want to start me on rants, do we? I think we've done enough today. I'm sure. Next time. I'm sure I'm going to lose some Instagram followers when this comes out. No, just to say that
Mabba, because they're not on Instagram.
Yeah, fair one. Yeah, fair one. We will try to do another one soon. I think we were talking about getting. It's just. I think we were talking about getting a guest in, so we'll probably do that next time. Pardon?
Before the end of the world.
Yeah, but no, that's all from me. I think it's gone on enough. I'm hungry, so I need to eat before 10 o'clock, or I might as well not bother.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because anything after 10 o'clock turns to fat immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, do you want to do? We've got time for sponsors.
We should.
Okay. Let's have a word from our sponsors. Okay. Thanks for those messages. And Paul, what's your Instagram?
My Instagram is Team P-Scarb. I do get a lot of people knowing me as P-Scarb and going to my P-Scarb one. But that's a private one. To be fair, you wouldn't want to go in there anyway, because it's just full of pictures of me and my kids and, fields. So Team P-Scarb is where all my nutritional and training and inspirational content comes from. I'll throw in I'll throw in a picture of a waterfall and, you're alone until you're not, until the end of days sort of quote. You are the best of what you can be the best of.
Get those Canva templates smashed out.
Yeah, I'm on it. I really am. I'm going to do a lot of stories, because that's just what I like. But yeah, just Team P-Scarb on Facebook as well. Yeah, that's it. What about you?
So my Instagram is TomBlackman_nutrition. And I do actually, I've actually got a parody account, which is at Dr. Shreds Official. So if you are listening, go and follow that, because I need an extra 3 followers. And it's just so Dr. Shreds is from my book Target Lean, and it's just basically all the wrong things that nutrition gurus say.
I think I've got you.
So give it a follow. Oh, there they got the Target Lean book there. Not even opened. Looks like it
is opened.
So Tom Blackman_nutrition on Instagram, on YouTube, where all my coaching videos, free coaching videos are, is just Tom Blackman. And I do have LinkedIn and stuff like that. But
all right. Anyway. So that's enough from Tom.
Doing that.
There's me going, just Instagram, just Team P-Scarb. Yeah. And 3 days later, you shut up.
I've got social media out my ears.
And they're big ears to handle it.
Yeah.
Unlike mine.
Okay. Well, Paul, thanks for coming. And I'll let you go and have your milk and cookies before bed.
Horlicks.
I'm off to have some Pringles and a beer and watch Squid Game. Have you watched that?
No.
It's awesome.
I'm gonna have a look at it, but I've got a couple of other more adult programs to watch.
It's brilliant, but the subtitle is the voiceovers just don't fit.
Yeah. I've checked some stuff on Netflix that I know is really good, and even the English stuff, the dubbing's off, and I'm like, I can't watch it. I prefer watching those films with subtitles, so because you get the emotion of the actors. Then you don't really. It's really funny when you get the subtitles, you get the voiceovers, and he goes, "Don't talk to me," and then there's a pause, asshole, because that's the translation that pops. So it's really, it just sounds wrong. But I must admit, but I watched the film quickly before we wrap.
Yeah,
I watched the film the other night called Infinite on Prime.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you finished watching it yet?
Pardon?
Have you finished watching it yet?
Yes.
It's like the never-ending story.
Yeah. Right, I'm going now. Off that.
See you later.
See you later. Bye now.
Okay.